Hello everyone, Phoenix Knight here. Welcome to the channel, and welcome to the 2009-10 Stanley Cup Final in this replay. It is Game 1 tonight here at the SAP Center in San Jose, California, as the Eastern Conference champion New Jersey Devils come to town to play the Western Conference champion San Jose Sharks. Both teams having gotten here after winning Game 4 in their respective series on Saturday. I'm trying to find the bracket in here so I can show you guys how we got here. I wonder if it went hiding back in the folder. Yes, it did. Okay. So, over in the East, the New Jersey Devils were first faced with an impossible task against the President's Trophy-winning Washington Capitals, but they managed to get that done, then swept the Islanders 2-0 in the Eastern Conference semifinals, and finally beat the Thrashers 3-1 in the Eastern Conference Final. Over in the West, the San Jose Sharks beat the Phoenix Coyotes rather easily, then swept the Dallas Stars, and then went to war with the Chicago Blackhawks. That was a lot closer than the 3-1 series score would indicate. 3-2-1 scores in that series. The Sharks won 2 of them, and then won 5-4 in overtime to get themselves to the Stanley Cup Final. We're going to be doing a 2-2-1-1-1 series. I was debating which one I wanted to do earlier today, but I am going to stick with the traditional hockey format. What that means is the Sharks will have games 1, 2, 5, and 7 here at the SAP Center. We'll be across the country at the Prudential Center in Newark, New Jersey, for games 3, 4, and 6 if the series gets that far, with the Devils as the home team. We have got a sellout here at the SAP Center, not an empty seat to be found anywhere here in the building. So as the fans are filing in, we've got a lot of teal and black around tonight. But before we get started, if everyone will please rise, remove their head coverings, we will have the playing of our national anthem. Thank you for that. And as the teams finish up their final warm-ups, we'll weigh in with a little bit of ominous history on the channel as far as as far as historical season and conference champions go. We have yet to have a historical season champion even make the final and make the championship round in the playoffs. And in fact, of the 4 replays I've done on the channel, only 2 conference champions have even made it to the conference championship round. Those would be the Washington Redskins in 1972 for the NFL, and the Chicago Blackhawks here in this 2009-10 replay. So, we are expecting a great series here in this one. Fans not an empty seat to be found once again. Let's zoom down to center ice and get the face-off, get the game started. Face-offs are +1 to San Jose. That is a 2. The first face-off of the Stanley Cup Final goes to Boyle for the Sharks, and Game 1 of the Stanley Cup Final is now underway. Opponent defense 9. Salvador will take the puck away for an outside shot only. Salvador is zipping in. He'll throw that at the net. That's a 6. Save made by Nabokov, going over to Heatley. Heatley with it for the Sharks. Outside shot only for anybody. He will give that to Boyle. Boyle going down the ice, getting to the point. That's an 8. That's a rebound chance. Offensive left defenseman, Murray with the rebound shot. 7. He'll lose that over to Langenbrunner. Langenbrunner will get a stick on it for the Devils. Lose the puck. Murray will step in to hold that in at the point. Murray from the point. 10. Save made by Brodeur over to Zajac. Devils trying to get out of their own zone. Opponent defense 3. Thornton will take the puck away for an outside shot. He will try to make a pass. He will lose the puck back over to Zajac. Zajac, as the Devils are trying to get out of the zone. That is a penalty on Thornton. He'll go off for tripping. 2, 3. Power play of an 18. We'll check for 2 or more 4-rated defensive players. We do have 2 or more 4-rated defensive players. That'll start off being an outside shot for Zajac. Zajac at the point. That's a 3. That's a save. Then we'll have an outside shot for Salvador. Salvador, as that puck gets worked back to the point. That's a 4. He'll lose that to Thornton. And then they'll get it on the inside for that. Salvador in the slot. That's a 4. He will lose that over to Marlowe. And that faceoff will come out of the San Jose zone. Arena cheers. Yay! Faceoffs back to being +1 to San Jose. That is a 19, though. That will go up to Parise. And the Devils have it as we're off and running. Inside shot for anybody. They will give that to Zajac. Thornton will try to intimidate. Thornton will take the puck away. Thornton with it for San Jose. Opponent defense 4. Zajac will take the puck away for an inside shot. Boyle will try to intimidate. Boyle will intimidate, take the puck away, and we'll have a forwards line change. Boyle with it for San Jose. Opponent defense 7. Salvador will step in to hold that end of the point. Outside shot. That's a 5. He will lose that over to Pavelski. Pavelski for San Jose. We'll lose it over to Zubris. Zubris with it now for the Devils. We'll lose it right back to Pavelski. Pavelski. Opponent defense 6. That'll be an outside shot for Setaguchi. Setaguchi will try to penetrate. That's an 8. Setaguchi with an inside shot. 8 is a rebound chance. Offensive right wing if offense rating 2 or more. Setaguchi will follow his own rebound to the net. That's an 11. Save made by Brodeur over to Elias. Elias. Possible breakaway. Uh-oh. Right wing center if the breakaway penetration rating 2 or more. Zubris is a 3. Zubris alone on Nabokov. That's a 12. Goalie rating on Nabokov. 3, 7, and 11 are bad numbers, and that's an 11 score. Stanius Zubris giving the Devils an early 1-0 lead. Arena groans. Ugh. Let's see. That was a possible breakaway. So that'll be from Elias. And just Elias. We'll have a defenseman line change as the Devils managed to draw first blood here in Game 1. Of course, when you've got this guy in net, this bum named Marty Brodeur, you tend to have a little bit of swagger, even when you're the 8th seed and the lowest overall seed in the playoffs. With a bum like Brodeur in the net, the Devils always have a chance. Faceoffs, however, are +2 to San Jose. That is a 10. That'll go up to Setaguchi, and the Sharks want the tiebreaker quickly. Opponent defense 11. Kovalchuk, that'll be a penalty on Kovalchuk. He'll go off for elbowing. And we'll see what kind of power play San Jose is going to have. They're going to have a 12, checking the right wing as defense. If he's a 4, he is not. So that'll be an inside shot for Setaguchi. Setaguchi in the slot with it. That's a 7. That'll be a save. And a rebound shot for anybody. They will give that to... They'll give that to Blake on a rebound shot. That's a 10. Save made. And Brodeur coming up big for the Devils here in the first. Arena groans. Ugh. Faceoff just outside the Devils zone. We're +2 to San Jose. That's a 9. Superior left wing. That'll come down to Klo. And we're off once again. Lose the puck. Outside shot for anybody. They'll give that to Kovalchuk. Setaguchi will try to intimidate. Setaguchi will take the puck away. We'll have a forwards line change. Ortmeyer with it now for San Jose. Inside shot for anybody. Uh-oh, they will give that to Blake. White will try to intimidate. White will intimidate, take the puck away, but a possible penalty on White. 1-15, no penalty. That's a 20. We will have a penalty on White. He'll go off for elbowing. Already a little bit chippy. 19, if 3 or more 4-rated defensive players, which we do not have. That'll be an outside shot for anybody. They will give that to... They're going to give that to Blake as the highest offense. Blake at the point. 3 is a goalie rating on Brodeur. 7 and 8 are bad numbers. That's a 7. Score! Rob Blake tying this game for the Sharks here on the power play. Arena cheers. Yay! Flip over cards to get a couple assists. That will be from... Malhotra and Ortmeyer. And just like that, we are tied at 1 here in Game 1. Bring the teams back to center ice. Faceoffs remain +2 to San Jose. That is a 6 superior right defenseman. That's over to Blake, and we're off once again. He will lose that over to White. White with it now for the Devils. Outside shot only for anybody. They'll give that to Rolston. Rolston at the point. That's a 7. Save made by Nabokov over to Ortmeyer. Ortmeyer lose the puck. Outside shot only for White. White stepping in to hold that in at the point. That's an 8. That's a rebound chance. Defensive right defenseman. Blake will shut that down. Blake for San Jose. Passing F. That'll be an outside shot for Malhotra. Malhotra will try to penetrate. Malhotra will penetrate. He's inside. He's in the slot. That's a 6. Goalie rating on Brodeur. That's an 11. Save made by Brodeur. That'll go over to Mateau. Mateau for New Jersey. Passing D. That'll be an outside shot for Niedermeyer. Niedermeyer will try to make a pass. Passing K. He will lose the puck over to Malhotra. Time ticking down here in the first. Lose the puck. Outside shot for Clarkson. Clock counting down. That's a 7. Save made. That'll go over to Vlasic, but... Brrr, there's the horn to end the first period. The Devils draw first blood on a breakaway by Zubris, and then Blake answers with a power play tally. We are tied at 1 here in San Jose as we get set for the second period of this game. Boy, oh boy, would New Jersey love to steal home ice with a Game 1 victory here. San Jose trying desperately to make sure that doesn't happen. Hopefully you guys are enjoying a little Monday Night Hockey here on the channel. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Come on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Quick drink from my Crystal Light. Quick check of my phone. Just to make sure nothing crazy is going on here. We are good there. So now we are set for the second period of this game. Face-offs, back to being +1 to San Jose. That is a 12. Superior any player, they'll give that to Boyle. And we're off and running to start the second period of game 1. Losing the puck, Parise zipping into the offensive zone for an outside shot. That's a 7. That's a goalie rating on Nabokov. That's a 2. Save made by Nabokov. He will hold on. We'll get a face-off to the right of Nabokov. Back to being +1 to San Jose. That's a 7. That'll come down here to Marlowe, and we're off and running once again. We'll lose the puck. Outside shot for anybody. They'll give that to Langenbrunner. Marlowe will try to intimidate. Marlowe will take the puck right back. Marlowe for San Jose. Opponent defense 7. Langenbrunner will take the puck away, zip down the ice for an outside shot. He'll throw that at Nabokov. 8 is a rebound chance. Does he get help? Defensive right wing if defense rating 2 or more. Heatley's at 2. He'll have that for San Jose. Heatley looking at opponent defense 11. Parise is going off for a penalty for roughing. Been a surprisingly chippy game for a game 1 between two teams who normally don't play very often. And 8 is checking on the left wing if he's a 3 or more. He is. That'll start off being an outside shot for Thornton. Thornton from the point as the puck gets worked back. 6, he'll lose that to the deep. Actually, 6 is a goalie rating on Brodeur. Helps if I look at the right player. 10, save made by Brodeur. That puck will then get worked back to being an inside shot for anybody. This time they'll give that to Heatley. Heatley in the slot. 5, finds a save for Brodeur, and Brodeur will get that out of the zone, and we'll have a face-off just outside the Devil's zone. Arena groans. Ugh. Still +1 to San Jose. That'll go to Murray, and we're off once again. Losing the puck, outside shot only for Green. Green zipping down the ice, throwing that at Nabokov from the point. 4 is a save. That'll go over to Thornton. Thornton for San Jose. Passing F. That'll be an outside shot for Heatley. Heatley will try to penetrate. Heatley getting inside. He's into the slot on Brodeur. That's a 9. That would be a goalie rating if the Sharks were on the power play, but Brodeur will hold on. We'll take that face-off to the right of Brodeur. Arena groans. Ugh. 3 on another +1 face-off. That'll come back to Marlowe, and we're off once again. Lose the puck, outside shot only for Salvador. Salvador flying down the ice, throws that at Nabokov. That's a 4. He'll lose that over to Thornton. We'll have a forwards line change. Probably more of a case of clearing it on net, is what I would think from one zone of the ice to the other. Pavelski with it now for San Jose. Passing D. That'll be an inside shot for Setaguchi. Kovalchuk will try to intimidate. Kovalchuk will intimidate, take the puck away. Kovalchuk with it for New Jersey. Opponent defense 7. Setaguchi will take it right back, holding it in at the point. That's a 6. Save made over to Salvador. Salvador looking to turn up ice with it. But Setaguchi will once again step in to hold it in at the point for an outside shot. That's a 6. Save made right back to Salvador. Salvador passing D. He'll lose the puck. Inside shot for anybody. They will give that to Pavelski. Zubris will try to intimidate. Zubris will take the puck away. Zubris with it now for New Jersey. Lose the puck. Outside shot only for Murray. Murray stepping in at the point to hold it in. That's a 9. Save made by Brodeur up to Kovalchuk. We'll have a defenseman line change. Kovalchuk with it now for New Jersey. Opponent defense 5. Outside shot for Elias. Elias will try to penetrate. Elias will penetrate. He's on the inside. He's in on Nabokov. That's a 7. Goalie rating on Nabokov. That's a 10. Save made by Nabokov. They'll give that over to Vlasic. Vlasic for San Jose. Opponent defense 8. Mateau will take the puck away for an outside shot only. Mateau at the point. 7. He will lose that over to Klo. Klo for San Jose. Passing F will be an outside shot for Pavelski. Pavelski will try to make a pass. Lose the puck over to Zubris. Zubris for New Jersey. Inside shot for anybody. They'll give that to Kovalchuk. Setaguchi will try to intimidate. Setaguchi will intimidate, take the puck away, but a possible penalty on Setaguchi. That's a 5. No penalty for Setaguchi. We'll play on. Opponent defense 10. Kovalchuk, however, will go off for roughing. Leaving over the 3 cards. We'll have the forwards line change. And then we'll see what kind of power play San Jose is looking at. This potent San Jose power play is how they tied the game. And now they've got a chance here to take the lead at the tail end of the second period. Power play is a 7, checking the left wing. If he's a 2 or more, he is. That'll start off being an outside shot for Ortmeyer. Ortmeyer at the point. That's a 5. That's actually a goalie rating on Brodeur, believe it or not. That's a 6. Save made by Brodeur. Then we'll have an outside shot for the left wing. That'll be down to Maholtra, also at the point. That's a 5. That'll be a save by Brodeur. Then an outside shot for Nickel as the puck gets worked back again. 7 is another save. And finally, we'll have an inside shot for Nickel. Nickel now in the slot with it. That's a 5. Save made and Brodeur holding firm. Arena groans. Ugh. +2 face-off to San Jose. That is a 10. That'll be superior right wing. That'll be up to Ortmeyer. And we're off once again. Opponent defense 9. Rolston will take the puck away for an outside shot only. Rolston zipping down the ice. That's a 6. Save made by Nabokov. Over to Maholtra. Maholtra for San Jose. Inside shot for anybody. They'll give that to Blake. White will try to intimidate. White will take the puck away. White for New Jersey. Opponent defense 9. Blake will take the puck away. Stepping into... He'll hold that. He'll zip down the ice for an outside shot. That's an 8. That's a rebound chance. Offensive lefty, offense rating 3 or more. Vlasic's a 2. Mateau will have control of that for New Jersey. Mateau looking at opponent defense 4. Vlasic will take the puck away for an inside shot. White will try to intimidate. White will intimidate. He'll take the puck away. White for New Jersey. Inside shot for anybody. They will give that to Rolston. Ortmeyer will try to intimidate. Ortmeyer will take the puck away. Time starting to tick down here in the second. Ortmeyer will lose that over to Rolston. Time ticking down here. Possible breakaway. Uh-oh. Right wing of the breakaway penetration rating 3 or more. Clarkson's a 4. He's in alone on Nabokov. That's a 10. Save made over to Nickel. Brrr! There's the horn to end the second period of this game. A lot going on here. Things starting to get a little bit chippy here. But we remain tied at 1 at the end of 2 periods. There will be no hockey. Actually, I think we're done with Tuesday night hockey at this point for the replay. I won't need it. I won't need it anymore. And the only way I'm going to double up on games is if I happen to get 2 games at the same building on a weekend. But given that I'm doing a 2-2-1-1-1 structure, I don't think that's going to happen. So the next time we come together for the replay, we'll be right back here at the SAP Center in San Jose, California, for Game 2 of this series. We obviously don't know yet who's going to be leading, because A, there's still one more period of hockey to play yet, and B, we're tied at 1 here going into the third period. We are going to be busy, though, all this week. I'll talk more about that. At the end of this video. As usual, when this replay is over, I will be taking a 2-week break. I'll be going on semi-break. What I mean by that is we'll still get the normal scheduled Sunday, Wednesday, and Saturday uploads over the 2 weeks that I'm off. But what I mean by a semi-break is we won't see any uploads on Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, or Friday, or any extra games for that matter. So the fall campaign this year will continue on Sunday morning, as will Mystical Munchies on Saturdays. But otherwise, we're not going to have any extra games. We'll also have the Wednesday videos as usual. But otherwise, everything else is going on hiatus for 2 weeks, and then we're going to pick up with the off-season streaming schedule, where I will add Monday and Fridays, along with extra games on Saturday and Sundays. But otherwise, there won't be any extra streams. There won't be other extra streams on the channel during those 2 weeks. And that's, well, other than unboxings, and that's mostly just to give myself a little bit of time to decompress from essentially going full tilt in a replay. And given that we've got one series left, I'm already kind of in that wind down mode a little bit, just because I don't need all the fancy stuff like doubling up on blocks or picking up extra games, anything like that. So dropping off Tuesday Night Hockey is a very easy thing to do. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Usual between period breaks. Which is just my drink and checking on my phone. And with all that being set, let's bring the teams back to center ice for the third period of this game. Face-offs are now +1 to San Jose. That's a 2. That'll come up to Boyle, and we're off to start the third period of this game. Opponent defense 10, and we're already starting off with a power play for San Jose. Very dangerous situation because we've got the top lines out for both teams. That's a 3. If the left defenseman is a 4 on defense, he is not to San Jose's relief. That'll be an inside shot for anybody. They will give that to Heatley for an inside shot. Uh-oh. That gets worked down to him. 4 is a goal on a 1-14. And score! Danny Heatley giving the Sharks a 2-1 lead here on the power play. Arena cheers. Yay! Brodeur's got to be looking at his guys wondering, guys, why can't you play disciplined hockey? We can't give this San Jose power play anything to work with. That will be from Marleau. And Boyle. As early in the third period here, the Sharks take a 2-1 lead on the Devils in Game 1. Face-offs, back to being +1 to San Jose. That's a 13. That'll go up to Salvador, and we're off once again. The Devils have it. Passing D. He will lose the puck. Inside shot for anybody. They will give that to Marleau. Langenbrunner will try to intimidate. Langenbrunner will take the puck away. Langenbrunner for New Jersey. Inside shot for anybody. They'll give that to Zajac. Thornton will try to intimidate. Thornton will take the puck away. Thornton for San Jose. Passing D. That'll be an inside shot for Heatley. Parise will try to intimidate. Parise will intimidate, take the puck away, but a possible penalty on Parise. 1-15, we've got a penalty. Or we've got no penalty. That's a 17, so we have another penalty. Good news for the Devils, though. Power plays, well, let's do the forwards line change first. I'm pretty sure we don't have all, actually, I don't even need to bother waiting for the line change. I know we're not going to have all 4 rated defensive players, so that'll be a no shots power play for San Jose. That faceoff will come out of the Devils' zone. We know the Sharks know something about winning 2-1 games. We know they know something about 2-1 games. Against the Blackhawks, they were 2-1 in 2-1 games. Faceoffs here are +2 to San Jose. That's an 8. That's a superior right wing. That's up to Setaguchi. And we're off and running once again. Passing F. That'll be an outside shot for Klo. Klo will try to penetrate. Klo will penetrate. He's in slot. He's inside. He's in the slot on Brodeur. Kind of meshing the two thoughts together. 7. Save made over to Zubris. Zubris trying to get out of the zone with it. He will lose that over to Pavelski. Pavelski holding it in. Losing the puck. Zubris will clear that on net. That's a 4. Save made by Nabokov over to Klo. Klo with it now for San Jose. Opponent defense 7. Elias will take the puck away. Outside shot only. Elias zipping down, throwing that at the net. 9 is a goalie rating on Nabokov. That's a 6. Save made by Nabokov. That'll go over to Murray. Murray with it for San Jose. Passing E. He will lose the puck. Outside shot for Kovalchuk. Kovalchuk's going to let that go. That's a 7. Save made over to Pavelski. We'll have a defenseman line change. Get fresh defenseman legs on the ice. Pavelski with it for San Jose. He will lose that over to Zubris. Zubris with it for New Jersey. Losing the puck. Outside shot only for Pavelski. He'll throw that in that from the point. 3. Save made over to Elias. Elias for New Jersey. Lose the puck. Inside shot for anybody. They'll give that to Setaguchi. Kovalchuk will try to intimidate. Kovalchuk will not intimidate Setaguchi with an inside shot. He's in the slot against Brodeur. That's a 5. Save made over to Mateau. Mateau for New Jersey. Inside shot for anybody. They'll give that to Elias. Klo. Ooh. Klo will risk an intimidation. He will take the puck away from Elias. Klo with it for San Jose. Opponent defense 3. Elias will take the puck away for an outside shot. Elias will try to penetrate against Vlasic. Elias is in the slot. He's got a shot on Nabokov. That's a 3. Goalie rating on Nabokov. That's a 7. Score! Patrick Elias ties the game for New Jersey here at 2 late in the third period. Arena groans. Ugh. And we've got a forwards line change coming up momentarily, but we will flip over cards to get a couple assists if we can. That will be from any player 7, no. Right defense, no. Right wing scored. Center, no. Left defenseman, no. Left wing, that'll be from Kovalchuk. And Zubris. And just like that, we are tied at 2 going into the last forwards line change of this third period. This Game 1 of the Stanley Cup Final in this replay has been something else. Faceoffs, +2 to San Jose. That is a 17. That won't help them out. That'll go over to White, and we're off and running once again. Passing D. He will lose the puck. Inside shot for anybody. They'll give that to Blake. White will try to intimidate. White will take the puck away. White with it for New Jersey. Opponent defense 10. That's a penalty on Blake. Ooh. That's an elbowing call against Blake. 7. If the left wing is a 2 or more, he is. 7, yep. Okay, so that'll be an outside shot for Clarkson. Clarkson at the point. That's a 10. Goalie rating on Nabokov. That's a 5. Rebound chance. Defense, any player with a defense rating 4. Vlasic's a 4. He'll shut that one down. Then an outside shot for the left wing. So up to Rolston at the point. That's a 5. That'll be a save. Where were we? Oh, yes. Outside shot for Niedermeyer. 7 is another save. And finally, an inside shot back to Niedermeyer. He's in the slot this time. That's a 10. Save made. We'll bring the face-off out just out. Actually, Nabokov will hold on. We'll take that face-off to the right of Nabokov. As ID Jester is first to join us here at the SAP Center. You missed quite a first couple of periods for this one, Jester, and most of this third. Face-offs here are +2 to San Jose. That is a 5. That'll be superior left defenseman. That'll be over to Vlasic, and we've got time ticking down here in the third period, but let's see what happens. Opponent defense 5. Mateau will take the puck away for an outside shot. Mateau will try to make a pass. Inside shot for anybody. They will give that to Clarkson. Clarkson in the slot against Nabokov. That's an 11. That's a goal on a 1-11. And no! Nabokov making a brilliant save. He'll hold on. We'll take that face-off to the left of Nabokov. Arena size. Phew! Hold on. This is kind of bugging me a little bit. Looks like I got a stray hair in that split card. Anyway, got that out now. Big defensive zone draw for San Jose. They've got the +2 advantage. That's a 20. They won't get it, though. That'll go over to Clarkson for an offensive zone win for New Jersey. And we're off once again. Uh-oh. Lose the puck for a possible breakaway. Right D if the breakaway penetration rating 3 or more. Blake is a 4. He's in alone on Brodeur. These two have history. That's a 4. That would be a goalie rating, but Brodeur will hold on. We'll get that face-off to the left of Brodeur. Arena groans. Ugh. A big offensive zone draw here for San Jose. That's a 10. They'll get this one. That'll go over to Ortmeyer. Time ticking down here in the third, though. Inside shot for anybody. They'll give that to Blake. White will try to intimidate. White will intimidate. He'll take the puck away. White trying to get out of the zone for New Jersey. Opponent defense 7. Blake will step in, hold that in at the point for an outside shot. That's a 6. That would be a goalie rating if the Sharks were on the power play, but Brodeur will hold on. We'll take that face-off to the left of Brodeur. Last card coming up for the third period. Big offensive zone draw here. Big draw here. San Jose in the San Jose offensive zone, +2 to the Sharks. That's a 20. That will go to Clarkson. And the last play of the third period. Lose the puck. Outside channeling for Vlasic. Vlasic stepping in to hold it in. Time ticking down here in the third. That's a 10. Save made over to Mateau. Brrr! And here in Game 1, we need bonus hockey. As the teams trade tallies, we are tied at 2 as we get set for overtime in Game 1 of this Stanley Cup Final. How fitting that the first Game 1 on the channel ends up going to bonus hockey. Free hockey incoming, indeed. We'll let the Zamboni get everything ready for overtime. Got anything lined up later tonight, Jester, or just kind of taking an easy night? Devils, of course, would love to steal home ice advantage here with a win tonight in Game 1. Was going to play a new game, Bag of Dungeons. Should be cool. Nice. I'll come back. Hopefully we won't take too long, and I'll be able to come check it out later tonight. Easy to set up and play with some very basic rules. Well, that's always a good thing to hear. Just FYI, though, I will be keeping you guys off work tomorrow. Nice! For anybody watching, I will be keeping us around for a little bit tonight because I do have a product unboxing of something that I just... You can stay up late, unlike me. Yeah. Anyway, as I was saying, I do have a product... I do have a couple of deliveries that have come in that we're going to crack on the channel as well. One of them I actually got on Friday, but I waited for the other one because without the other delivery, that one wouldn't have made sense. One, two, three, four, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, taking a quick drink. Alright. Face-offs are +1 to San Jose. Let's get started here in overtime. That's a 13. That will go up to Salvador for New Jersey. And the Devils have it for our first overtime of this Stanley Cup Final. Probably not the last with these two teams, but let's take it away. Losing the puck, outside channeling for Thornton. Thornton will zip in, throw it at the net. Snake Eyes on a 1 to 15. Game 1 goes to the Sharks. And no! Brodeur making a brilliant save. He will hold on. We'll take that face-off to the right of Brodeur. Arena groans. Ugh. 2 is a 1 to 15 goal on Thornton's card. The split came up in 18, and we still have more bonus hockey. But an offensive zone draw now for San Jose. +1 to the Sharks. That's a 4. That will go up to Heatley, and we are off once again. Opponent defense 5. Parise will take the puck away for an outside shot. Parise will try to make a pass. Parise will... Oh, that'll be an inside shot for Langenbrunner. Langenbrunner getting down the ice on Nabokov. That's a 6. Save made by Nabokov over to Marlowe. Marlowe for San Jose. Opponent defense 8. Langenbrunner will hold that in at the point for an outside shot. Langenbrunner 3. That would be a goal check if the Sharks were... if the Devils were on the power play, but Nabokov will hold on. We'll take that to the right of Nabokov. What a stop by... What a stop. I thought it was over already. Well... Let me remind you, Jester, of the bum that's in net for New Jersey. This guy. One of the goats of my generation, and good grief. I think I just dated myself a little bit there. Anywho. Yep, that's some bum in net for New Jersey named Brodeur. You may have heard of him. Apparently he's supposed to be pretty good. Anywho, defensive zone draw here for San Jose. Faceoffs are +1 to the Sharks. That's a 14. That'll be over to Green on a big offensive zone win for New Jersey, and we're off. Opponent defense 9. Murray will take the puck away, zip down the ice for an outside shot. Murray, that's a 6. He will lose that over to Green. Green getting down there in a hurry. Green, inside shot for anybody. They will give that to Zajac. Thornton will try to intimidate. Thornton will intimidate, take the puck away, but a possible penalty on Thornton. 1 to 12, no penalty. That's a 5. Thornton's got it. We'll play on. Lose the puck, outside shot only for Salvador. Salvador zipping down the ice. That's a 9. He will lose that over to Heatley. Heatley for San Jose. We'll lose that over to Parise. Parise. Outside shot only for anybody. He will give that to Langenbrunner. Langenbrunner at the point. That's a 6. Goalie rating on Nabokov. That's an 11. Score! Jamie Langenbrunner giving the Devils a 3-2 victory here in Game 1. The Devils take a 1-0 lead in this series. Arena barfs. Bleh. But of course, as we established, you underestimate Martin Brodeur at your own peril, and the Devils take a one game to none lead in this series. Game 2 of this series will be Thursday night, as we'll be right back here. And now the Devils looking to really take control of this series with a 2. The Devils would love to be up 2-0 going back to New Jersey. San Jose hoping they can salvage a split before going to Jersey. They do not want to be down. They do not want to be down 0-2 against Marty Brodeur going to New Jersey. That would probably be a death sentence for the Sharks in this series. Of course, the Devils have pulled off a lot of impossible things in this replay. Again, remember, the Devils had to beat the President's Trophy winning Washington Capitals to get here. But of course, as we all know, nobody gets parades for the President's Trophy. The only trophy... Devils are playing with a fiddle, hoping for the best. Well, the Devils right now are playing with house money at this point, although, as we've established, when you've got a 3-time Cup winner and a 4-time Vezina winner in net, you are far from just dead in the water, in this, especially in a series like this. And Brodeur coming up big, giving the Devils just enough defense to get this game into overtime and finally hold firm for his offense to win it for him. And that was actually, we forgot to flip over cards to get assists for the goal from Parise. Actually, that was from Langenbrunner. Before I pick up the cards, before we pick up the cards, well, too late for that, but I do know who all was line 1. So I'll flip over a couple cards. That'll be from Zajac. And, oh, that was 1 assist, so never mind, just Zajac. Okay, got away with 1 there. But yes, I'm starting to clean up already. I've gotten a pair of deliveries in the last couple days that we're going to unbox. Well, we're going to tear the shrink in a minute because I want to get this all cleaned up before we do our tearing the shrink. The plan right now, though, is we'll show off the delivery, but I do have a couple things that I'm going to be... But I do have a couple deep product unboxings that I'm going to do tomorrow. Now that I no longer need Thursday night hockey for the rest of the season, I'm going to start moving Tuesdays back to being completely off nights. Again, barring small streams. Like any unboxings for anything I've gotten in. So let me get cleanup done here. We're not too far from being done with it at any rate. Actually, as relatively early as it is, I might still be able to tear into at least one of these tonight. Okay, so as I mentioned, I got a pair of deliveries in. This was the delivery I got in today. This is actually from Play Games. And I'm going to crack this first, so the second delivery, the one I got in on Friday, actually makes sense. So let's crack this open and see what I've got in here. There we are. Okay. Let's pull these out. I want to make sure these don't have... Okay, I just wanted to make sure it didn't have nothing had my address or the invoices on here. Okay. Just looking at some of the notes in here. Okay. That makes sense. So what we've got in here is a copy of History Maker Baseball Big League Baseball Simulation board game by Play Games. Now, I'm going to tip my hand a little bit on some of the first couple of videos that I'm going to be making in the off-season. As I'm getting ready for my next replay, I'm not going to spoil what it is right now. Well, I am going to tip my hand a little bit in that it's going to be a baseball season replay because that relates directly to the first couple of videos I'm going to be making in the off-season. I'm starting to evaluate my baseball seasons because coming in the aftermath of 1991 and 1985, I'm discovering that I really want the stadiums to be able to tell a big part of the story. And one system that's been catching my eye in terms of not really doing that is APA. Now, I have found that APA does have ballpark factors that you can buy on the APA website for a $4 download. So one of the first videos I'm going to make in the off-season is I'm going to do an APA baseball video, but I'm going to do a 3-part test around APA baseball. Because another worry I've been sitting on with APA for quite a while, I'm going to put this down for a second so I can kind of talk about this. One of the worries I've been sitting on with APA for a long time is you've got the basic game, right? Where the basic game is very simple, very accessible to everybody. But I think that's part of the problem for me, at least. Because it seems like there's almost really not much on the bones. If we think of this in terms of like meals, in terms of food, you could think of the basic game as almost being like starvation ration. Well, maybe not starvation rations isn't the way I should put that. Let's say ramen noodles, essentially. It's basically enough to give you the flavor of something, but there's really not much there in terms of nutrients, at least for food, or kind of the narrative in the game. Yes, it's designed to be a very fast game and get over in like 15-20 minutes. I'm not trying to knock the speed of APA Basic. Then we've got the next level up being a homebrew with the Paul Marino boards, and that's supposing to be a middle ground between Basic and the Master game. So essentially the Marino boards are where the pitcher actually starts to matter a little bit. There's still no impact for the ballpark, but I am going to use the ballpark factors in this video. Then you've got the Master game, which is almost like a 3-course meal, almost. So the video I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be doing an inning of Basic, then I'm going to be doing a game of APA baseball. I'm going to do an inning of Basic, then an inning with the Marino boards, and an inning of the Master game. Now what I'm looking for is I want to see if I can find that kind of sweet spot with APA baseball in terms of something that I think I could use for a season replay and have enough meat on the bones to really feel like I'm telling the story and not just having it told for me. If I don't, then I'm probably going to start looking into moving my APA baseball seasons out as well. Maybe not culling my collection, but kind of honing it to what I like in baseball. Anyway, that ramble aside, let's come back to History Maker Baseball now. We'll take a quick look at the back of that, which I'm not going to go through all of that. We'll do that when we go through our deeper unboxing. Everything you need to make your own baseball history is inside this box. Well, anything I need to make my own baseball history is also in the replays I've done on the channel. So, now that we've got that, and I forgot to cover this. Actually, let me see if I can do this. I'll just show off that it's another delivery from Play Games, and you'll see there's a reason why I unboxed them in this order. So let's crack this open and see what we've got in here. And we've got a Uline mailer that is being sent in. And I'll explain once we see what this is, I'll explain why I unboxed in this order. Once again, making sure we intercept the invoice. Okay, well actually it's no invoice, it's just a letter. But what we've got in here is we've got a set of cards we've got Kurt Berglund's 50 Years of Baseball Greatness for History Maker Baseball. And I do like that it's got the teams on here. So this is a project I'm probably going to use more as a one-off tournament kind of thing than necessarily a full season replay. So this looks like it's just an all-star team. We'll probably go ahead and unbox this all the way through as well. Well, actually, I don't know if I want to unbox that all the way through, but it looks like there's a little bit of an intro on here. We'll go through that when I do the History Maker baseball unboxing. But yeah, that's everything. That's everything in those pairs of this pair of deliveries. Now, the reason I unboxed them in this order, is I actually bought the Kurt Berglund's 50 Years of Baseball Greatness set. I'm going to say it right one of these days. I bought this having a deal in place to buy a copy of this from BG from a gentleman on Board Game Geek in place. The problem is the deal that I had for this fell apart because he ended up losing the copy of the game that he was going to ship me. So I had this coming in, which means I kind of panicked a little bit, and I placed an order for this direct from Play. So I got this. So I got the Kurt Berglund's 50 Years of Baseball Greatness set in on Friday, but I didn't want to unbox it until I got History Maker Baseball in. So that's why I unboxed these two in this order tonight, because this wouldn't have made sense without this. Anyway, that ramble aside, that will do it for Game 1 of the Stanley Cup Final for my 2009-10 hockey season replay. Wednesday night we'll be playing Terra Mystica from Fureland Spiel. Thursday night will be Game 2 of the Stanley Cup Final between the Sharks and the Devils, New Jersey leading the series 1-0. Saturday, Mystical Munchies will conclude out of the official Elder Scrolls cookbook as we make the dessert, Apple Cobbler. Sunday next week, the fall campaign in B-17 Flying Fortress Leader by DVG will continue. Thank you for watching the video. Please give the video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Be sure to turn on notifications so you get my content. Be well, stay safe, take care of yourselves and your loved ones, and I'll be back with more videos in the future. Until then, take care everyone. The New Jersey Devils get an overtime goal from Jamie Langenbrunner to take a 1-0 lead in the series and take game 1 by a final score of 3-2. Once again, take care, and I will see you guys tomorrow.